Namo Ratnatraya, my dear Dhamma friends and followers. Yesterday we have discussed a little about Buddha nature in Vajrayana views and Vajrayana talk. And then we say, now we are entering to the Buddha nature. To have a Buddha nature, first of all, we should clear our vision. To clear our vision, we should go through the Arya Ashtangik Marga. And yesterday we have also spoken pure and true mind of as being fundamental needs for to acquire the Buddha nature. It is the Buddha nature that is the seed of Buddhahood. That's why when we see the Buddha nature, to grasp the Buddha nature, to walk on the path of the Buddha nature, we must follow certain norms. We should know certain fundamental aspect of Buddhism too. So, if the light of Buddha's wisdom is concentrated upon the human mind, is true Buddha nature, which is Buddha will be in candle, and its light will be illuminate the minds of the people by its brightness and will awaken faith in Buddha. In this way, we described yesterday about the Buddha nature. So, when we concluded Buddha nature yesterday, we discussed that in like a manner one might partially describe the nature of man, but would not be able to describe the true nature of a human being, the Buddha nature. There is only one possible way by which the everlasting nature of man is Buddha nature that cannot be disturbed by worldly desires and destroyed by death can be realized. That is by the Buddha and the Buddha's noble teaching. When we could cite it that we should die once a day, every day we are dying at the time of sleeping, and every morning we awaken and getting the reward. But one death after death, we won't awaken again. But because of cause and effect, we could get reborn. So, apart from the rebirth, again and again, not to come in this wheel of life, Baba Chakra, we should have the egolessness. That's why I'm going to talk today. The subject is Buddha nature and egolessness. We have been speaking of Buddha nature as thought. It was something that could be described as a thought. It was similar to the soul of other teachings, the chitta of other teachings, but it is not. It is not soul, it is chitta. It is because of mind, it created, it presented. The concept of an ego personality is something that has been imagined by a discriminating and which first grasps it and then become attached to it. If we grasp something Just like this is mine. I could do whatever the good things, there should be my name. In this way, our ego will emerge in our mind. Because of the ego, it creates greediness. Because of ego, it creates hatred. And greediness and hatred makes us suffering. That's why to avoid, to separate it from the ego, we must avoid, we must apart it from the greediness and hatred. So when we thought the concept of ego personality is something that has been imagined, and the discriminating mind first grasps it and then become attached to it, but which must abandon it or apart from this. On the contrary, Buddha nature is something incredible that must first be discovered. In one sense, it resembles an ego personality, but it is not the ego in the sense of I am, mine, I should. So we first of all have to leave this selfness. Having selfness, we will become the selfish. So, if we become the selfish, then selfish is the next name of egoism. To believe in the existence of man, of an ego, is an erroneous of belief that suppose non-existent. To deny Buddha nature is wrong. For it is supposed that existence is non-existent. Existence of greedy and hatred, it creates the egoism. This can be explained in a parable. A mother took her sick child to a doctor. Naturally, every mother when their child is sick, they took them to a doctor for cure. The doctor gave the child medicine and instructed the mother not to nurse the child until the medicine was digested. The mother anointed her breast with something bitter so that the child would keep away from her of his own volition. After the medicine had time enough to be digested, the mother cleaned her breast and let the child suck her. The mother took this method, saving her child out of kindness because she loved the child. Like the mother in the parable, Buddha, in order to remove misunderstanding and to break up attachment to an ego personality, denies the existence of an ego. And when the misunderstanding and attachment are done away with, then he explains the reality of the true mind. That is the Buddha nature. Attachment to an ego personality leads people into delusion, but faith in their Buddha nature leads them to enlightenment. I again repeat this. Attachment to an ego personality, it means having a selfish, having a person of I am, mine, I should do, my name should be in front. Like this, ego personality leads people into delusion. It conflicts his mind. It makes suffering to him. But faith in their Buddha nature. When we say faith in Buddha nature, to be kind to others, to help to others, we should have to support to others. I will be back. Please go. These persons, these ideas, when we could create in our mind, this is the nature of Buddha. And their Buddha nature leads them to enlightenment. So it is the woman in a story to whom a chase was wicked, not knowing that the treasure contained gold. She content to live in poverty until another person open it and showed her gold. Buddha opens the mind of people and shows them the purity of their Buddha nature. In this way, when we say about the Buddha nature, everything we should be clear in our mind. Clear in mind means our vision should be clear. Our vision should be broadened. Then only we could step forward to the Buddha nature. So, when we success to forward our step in the Buddha nature, automatically it aparts or it leaves the ego-ness. We will be egoless. Ego-ness makes suffering to us. Ego-less leads to us the Buddha path, to the enlightenment. Self-centered makes us ego-ness. Broadening the mind to help others, sympathy and compassion to others, suffering, to remove others' sufferings. When we create this idea, it gives us or it leads us to the Buddha nature, which became a part, a favorable way, or it leads to the enlightenment. That's why when it is possible, only if we could gain the knowledge of Buddha, we applied in our social life, in our mind, the Buddha knowledge, then that became the Dhamma. Because to help others, to guide others, that is the Dhamma. To follow the Buddha knowledge is to follow the Dhamma. It is only possible then when we could form a group, or we success to help others in a group. That is Sangha. So the favorable and egolessness minded people's gathering, it is called the Sangha. that is Arya Sangha. So when we believe in the Arya Sangha, when we believe in the selflessness, then egolessness will present over there, and we success to be on the way to the egolessness, that is the way to the Buddha nature that leads to the enlightenment. This much for today. Buddha nature and egolessness. Buddha nature and selflessness. Buddha nature in process to the enlightenment. Thank you very much, my Dhamma friends and followers. In this way, even the teeny subjects, we could describe in different aspects, not only to describe it, we should oneself have to follow the good things, what we should do, what should not we have to do. So if we could success to differ what we have to do and what we do not have to do, then we success to walk on the path of the Buddha. Buddha nature will automatically support us. Thank you very much, and Bhavatu Sarva Mangalam.